Jaguar Health is a company that we have seen make some very big moves, especially in the last few weeks here. Now, this company has completely shifted their focus recently, focusing on other drugs that could be potentially related to the pandemic, and we have seen that really set their stock on fire. We've seen it climb from being less than $1 all the way maybe only 2 or 3 weeks ago to being up over $3 now, 3 timesing in the span of maybe like 14-15 days. So it has really gained some momentum and gained traction within both the penny stock and the investor and the YouTube community. So with that being said, what I wanted to do is go ahead and bring you guys some news that we did see today. It's something that was kind of predicted and it was kind of anticipated, but I do believe that it is overall good news. And I also did want to bring up an article that I did read that did provide, it gave some pretty good information that applied to both sides, saying that, okay, this is a good company, but there are the what ifs. And I felt like that is also some important information to interview any of you who may be considering, okay, do I want to invest in a stock or do I not? Because at the end of the day, all I want to do is provide you all with the best value and keep you as up to date as possible about your favorite companies. And so I hope that I am capable of doing that again in today's video. With that being said, if you do want access to a community of over 100 people where we bounce ideas about stocks, different penny stocks, long-term stocks, options, crypto, forex, everything, if you do want access to all the trades when I make them, as well as updates every single day about my trading portfolio, as well as the early access to the content that I'm going to be posting on this channel, definitely consider heading down to the description. You can see the link to my Patreon. That is where you will get all of this very transparent information from me, as well as access to this very diverse community. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a quick dive into Jaguar Health. Let's see what all has been going on, as I don't believe this will be a very long video, but I did want to make sure again that I am keeping you all up to date. But with that being said, again, let's go ahead and let's check out what's going on with Jaguar Health, ticker symbol JAGX. So the news that we got came from yesterday morning, and it says that Jaguar Health regains compliance with Nasdaq's bid price requirement. Well, we did get a quote from the CEO saying that we are very happy to learn that Jaguar has regained compliance with the Nasdaq. We believe our efforts since the second quarter of 2020 to implement our expanded patient access programs for Mytesi and our focus on long-term investors and non-dilutive financings include our recent royalty-based capital infusion of $6 million are improving our long-term financial prospects. Additionally, with the initiation this past October by our wholly owned subsidiary Napo Pharmaceuticals of the pivotal phase 3 clinical trial of crofelemer for prophylaxis of diarrhea in adult cancer patients receiving targeted therapy, and our recently announced plans to develop and commercialize crofelemer for the possible indication of prophylaxis and our symptomatic relief of inflammatory diarrhea, initially to be studied in a long hauler, can't say that anymore, recovery patient population in Europe. We believe the value generated in the company will be realized as we work to bring crofelemer and plant-based prescription medicines to patients on need around the world. Now, this is something I 100% agree with. I do believe that it has been very important to watch as Jaguar Health has shifted their focus on getting agreements and making these deals that are more focused on the long term and establishing themselves as a solid company for a longer period of time. It does seem like their financials were more short-term or oriented in the past, as they didn't really have a big goal. They were just trying to get through thing and put out products and really just get this thing off the ground with no real game plan. But it seems like they have gotten themselves centered, they've gotten their head focused, and they're really starting to put together a solid game plan to grow out this portfolio, diversify their products, while not only targeting, one of the biggest issues at stake, which is the pandemic, but also growing out their other products that can be centered towards other issues, again, such as cancer-related, symptoms and everything like that. So I do really like the fact that they have been able to get themselves back into compliance with the Nasdaq bid price rule, as realistically we did expect them to be able to make it back up over that $1 for a 10 trading day period, because whenever you did look at the price, that thing was getting high. I mean, sitting up above $3, realistically thinking that it was going to fall all the way back down under $1, we kind of all expected that it would make it. But whenever we do see that they have officially made it, it does give us this sense of relief, in a sense that there's not this dark cloud, because whenever these companies get flagged for that, it kind of says like, okay, look, this is like the last straw for us. Like, you either get it back over $1 or you're going to get delisted. If we'll give you a little bit more time, but then we're going to delist you. So you need to figure it out. And it kind of puts them on, on center stage, like, okay, what is this company capable of whenever it comes to getting back into compliance and actually making themselves seem like a worthy investment. So I do love the fact that Jaguar Health was capable of making that happen. So with that being said, I did mention earlier that there was an article that I read that really did bring up a lot of great points, and I do want to present some of them to you now. So people do tend to forget that this company has had a very honestly horrific couple of years. This article from Investor Place does mention the fact that they have imploded over the last couple of years, plunging from more than $1,000 per share all the way down to just $3.21 now. So it's not like this company was just listed and it has been growing up from 0 up to 3. It has fallen from 1,000 down to 3, which does make it seem a little bit more drastic and honestly a little bit less appealing in a broad sense. Now, this is a company that I am invested in. Of course, I'm not going to be sitting here. I'm not saying anything negative about the company, but as an investor, you do have to become realistic about the expectations, but not only the expectations, but getting realistic about the history of the company as well. Well, one thing that this article does mention is the fact that a lot of this hype has come from the shift towards this thing right here. Again, we're not saying that one anymore. The response. Now, it says that at the time of its initial public offering, Jaguar Health was originally named Jaguar Animal Health. Back then, it intended to be a veterinary biotech company. People are spending more and more money on their pets, so there should be a robust market for medicine for cats and dogs. Jaguar Animal Health's first drug candidate was a product to treat diarrhea in dogs. That product hasn't produced tangible results yet, so the firm has started to working on trying to fight inflammatory diarrhea in humans. Now, Jaguar Health is developing a drug candidate, crofelemer, for this condition. Now, we have seen crofelemer do some pretty amazing stuff recently, as it has gained a lot of traction. But recently, Jaguar decided to begin pitching crofelemer as a diarrhea treatment for people with lingering symptoms from blank after they are no longer infected with the virus. The company is looking to get conditional marketing, which is something that we've went over before, and they're really just trying to take advantage of this whole situation. Now, with potentially tens of millions of such patients in Europe alone, this could be a game changer for Jaguar, and I honestly couldn't agree more that if it's possible, that this is going to be big for the company. But the question here is, will this strategy work? Jaguar's past history is not inspiring. But given the urgency of the blank pandemic, Jaguar Health has a second chance now. And I agree with that as well. And I think that now that they have started to get a game plan together and they've started to focus on their financing and starting to get an overall goal for the company down, that I think that with this second chance that they may potentially be able to go forward with this one and do a better job in the future than they have in the past. Now, it says that Jaguar Health has also made several other positive announcements, that it struck a $6 million royalty deal for crofelemer, which was again very, very amazing, and just little things like that have helped it going forward. Now, what I mean whenever I say that this does provide a good point is that we have seen it slowly shift all of its pitching to this entire pandemic situation, and they're somewhat starting to leave some of the other stuff in the past. Now, that's honestly not a bad thing. I think that they see an opportunity at hand that they may be able to help with, and they're trying to capitalize on that opportunity. There's no issue with that for me personally. The issue here is that realistically, this pandemic it's not going to be the talk of the century forever. I think that we will eventually get past this, and I think that all of these drugs and all of these products that will be out in order to relieve some of these symptoms will likely not be used as much as we do go on into the future. So realistically, what they're pitching right now in their main product, which is going to be crofelemer, and trying to do the Napo Pharmaceuticals EU in order to start to get conditional marketing in order to provide these products out to people with long hauler syndrome, that is amazing for now, and that is an amazing opportunity. But if the day does come that we see this die down, this company will hopefully by then have a very strong game plan for how they will then go back to their previous products and pitch that out to the new huge consumer base in which they could potentially have if taking advantage of this pandemic correctly. So that is something to think about. I think that it is important to bring up all of these different what ifs, because whenever you're thinking about investing into a company, this is your hard-earned money that is going to be either working for you or taking away from you, and you need to consider all of the factors that are related to a company. So this article might not have been the most positive, and it might not have been the most, again, optimistic, but I do believe that it is important to think about the fact that they're starting to shift their focus to something that I don't believe is going to last forever. So can this company maintain? Will they be able to revert back to what they were doing before whenever it comes to helping with symptoms from cancer therapies and all of this? I think that they can. I personally have invested in them because I think that this company is starting to get back on track, and there's a lot of potential with them. Definitely let me know what you all think about this down in the comment section below. Again, I know this was not the longest video ever, but I did feel it was important to mention, as this is a big factor of the overall investment into this company. With that being said, I hope I did provide you guys with some more value, just some more entertainment and some more knowledge around Jaguar Health itself. I really do like this company. Again, I do have certain investments into them, and I am making more investments coming up next week. So if you do want access to those trades in my portfolio updates, definitely one more time head to that link in the description. Check out my Patreon, as I am fully transparent about all of my trades there. With that being said, I do post 2 to 3 times every single day but Sunday, so I hope to see you all soon. Peace.